Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be chatting about 50 signs that you have enough. In the past, I've gone over 50 signs that you have too much stuff and different things just related to us collecting too much clutter. But today I want to show what the other side of the coin could look like and some signs that you have enough stuff, not too much and not too little. But before we dive in, I want to thank Cozy Earth for sponsoring this video. And also this video is the last opportunity I'm going to have to remind you about the giveaway that we have running. It's going to close the last day of November, and then I'll be sending out emails with names drawn on the 1st of December. And so I asked all of you guys what you wanted, and we put together a box of over $200 worth of products. So here's what we've got here for the giveaway, and the link to enter is down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to go posting a million things on social media like you oftentimes do for giveaways. This one, all you have to do is enter your email and you're entered to win this giveaway. So in my video a couple of weeks back where I mentioned my 21 best purchases of 2023, you guys were crazy about the sleep headphones. I don't blame you. This is like one of my favorite things in the world, so that you can sleep while connected to Bluetooth. It's battery operated, so you don't have to be connected to a cord or anything. So you'll be winning a set of the exact same sleep headphones that I use. You'll also be getting a SanDisk 2 terabyte solid state drive. This is enough to hold all of your digital files if you are ready to go paperless, or you have tons of photos that you want to back up, or videos. This is what I use professionally for all of my YouTube videos and all of my editing. And then you'll be getting this entire kit of Simply Earth products, including the big bonus box. So all of the ingredients that you need to be able to make your own recipes. This is like beeswax, pure coconut oil, almond oil. You're going to get their November kit that's all about gift making. So this is going to come with its own set of essential oils and recipes and extra contents and ingredients for that, jars and roll-on things. Anyway, you get a whole lot in this one kit. And so all of these are going to go to one lucky winner as a thank you for being subscribed to the channel and for supporting me. Be sure to click the link down in the description so that you can save your spot before we draw names on December 1st. And one last piece of tiny housekeeping. If you have been absolutely drowning in emails here lately with all of the Black Friday promotions, I chatted with my friend Kath, who has created the digital clutter course. I've talked about that a ton over here on the channel. It's where I use all of my systems and strategies in my own business email and personal email, from starboxing to archiving. But really, her course has everything from email management to photo management to finance management, everything that's related to digital clutter. And she is offering you guys 50% off to my audience using the code Danielle. So I wanted to let you know that because today is actually the last day of that promotion. I haven't had the opportunity to mention it in a video, but if that's something that you're looking at your inbox and you're like, oh, I need this, then you still have until the end of the day today to hop in on that. Housekeeping over. Okay, let's dive into 50 signs that you have enough. Number one, you know where all of your belongings are located. If I asked you where something was and you're like, bam, there it is, and you can immediately tell me off the top of your head. Number two, if every single possession has a home, either there's a spatial constraint for that entire category of items, or you know the exact spot and little cubby or little drawer or little dish that it belongs in, then that's a good sign that you have the right amount of stuff. Your space is in balance. Number three, if you have solid boundaries throughout your home that are not regularly breached. So again, this is going back to spatial constraints. I'll be sure to link some kind of video here related to spatial constraints for those of you who don't know what that means. But basically, if you have a spot or a home and those homes aren't regularly being breached and spreading out throughout the rest of the house, then that's a good sign that you have a really good pulse on the amount of belongings that you have and that you have a flow for your space, which is what we're going for. Number four, if the items that you own are regularly used or regularly appreciated. I like to add the appreciated in there because not everything is, quote, usable. There are some things that we just enjoy and they have validity in our space too, like the art on our walls or maybe photographs that we enjoy looking at. Or number five, if you could take downtime and your entire home wouldn't implode or completely fall apart. I've said many times that of the three big reasons that people tend to go clutter-free or decide, okay, this is enough, I'm ready to minimize my stuff, support is one of the big ones. And that was what it was for me. And the main thing with that was that I wanted to have a system in place so that when I needed to take downtime because I was feeling low energy or just depleted, I wouldn't have to worry about my entire space falling apart around me. I was able to do that, and it was able to provide me with that support. Number 6, your kids' toys may not be clean, but they are manageable. That's not to say that you can never have something make a mess, right? I have a 1-year-old who's running around with her toys, and believe me, she's leaving a trail of them just about everywhere she goes. But even if all of her toys were spread out, there's going to be a limit to how many toys that is, right? So if you have kids or pets, even if you feel like their stuff isn't always clean and tidy, it's at least manageable, then you probably have a good balance of stuff in your home. Number 7, you don't have to borrow enough to be a bother. There's nothing wrong with borrowing. I've had to borrow things, or I've chosen to borrow things instead of purchasing on my own. We used to not own a steam cleaner, and I thought, I don't need to use a steam cleaner that frequently. We can just borrow Matt's parents when we need one, because between our households, do we really need 2 steam cleaners? Since then, we bought one, but we've even replaced our carpet since then, so I kind of wish that we hadn't. And then there are, of course, websites like Rent the Runway, or where you can rent formal wear if you're not wearing formal attire that often. So there are, of course, good things to being able to borrow or to rent and not necessarily own. But if you're that person who never has anything, like you're the kid showing up to class who never has a pencil, never has a pen kind of thing, at some point it's like you need to get your own stuff. So if you have a good balance on your borrowing, and you're not borrowing so much that it's actually an issue or a problem or standing out as you're the person who borrows things, then you probably have enough stuff. You don't necessarily need to own those extra things on your own. Number 8, if you have something to wear for every typical weekly event. Sure, there are situations that come up where you might need this random thing, like you're painting a room, right? And you're like, oh, I don't have any clothes to wear when I'm painting stuff. Or, you have a formal event to go to. Oh, I don't have anything to wear to a funeral because I've never had to go to a funeral before. But if in your regular week, going to work, going to sleep, going to whatever fitness activity you go to, you have the attire to be able to wear to those, then I would say you have enough. The good thing about identifying where you have enough is that it also kind of frees you up to fill in the gaps where you don't have enough. Number 9, if your decor makes you smile. If you can walk into your space and you just feel like everything is right, it makes you happy. Looking at it gives you the type of vibes and the type of energy that you want to experience inside of that space, then you have enough. I say this because, some people who try to go extreme minimalist find that their space ends up looking a little bland or a little cold, and it's because maybe they don't have quite enough of the things that give them those good vibes. So if you're feeling great in your space, you're not feeling overwhelmed from the clutter, you're not feeling deprived from the emptiness, you're in a good spot. If you've been able to cook every meal that you've considered cooking over the past 6 months, then you have enough stuff in your kitchen. We generally make the same meals on repeat. Even in the holidays, we tend to make, like for Thanksgiving every year, we make the green bean casserole in my household. That's what we contribute every year to Thanksgiving. And we tend to have the same types of meals on repeat, whether it's a weekly rotation, a monthly rotation, or a seasonal rotation. And so if you have the tools needed to make those rotation items, then you probably have enough stuff in your kitchen. Number 11, if when life changes, you have things to let go of. That's actually a good sign that you have enough. A lot of people think, well, if I'm ever having to declutter, then I must have too much. I must have gone beyond enough, because otherwise, why would I need to declutter everything? And the truth is that we have seasons in our life that change, not just physical weather seasons or, like outdoor seasons, but we have different periods. We age, we go through changes, our children grow, we get pets, we move, all of these different things, and even different passion projects or hobbies, those require a different subset of belongings. So if as your life changes, you find that you are letting go of things, that's actually a good sign. It means that you're growing and changing, and that you're keeping on top of adjusting your home to those changes. Number 12, if your emergency kit is sufficient and up to date. You have the things that you need if somebody were to get a cut or scrape or need a Tylenol for a headache. You don't necessarily need to have something for every illness that could possibly ever come to be. Number 13, if you have a clear understanding of your financial situation, that's a good sign that you're at a balance of enough. Number 14, if you feel creative and inspired in your workspace, that's a good sign that you have enough. If you're able to do all the things that you need to do and you feel motivated and productive and inspired while you're doing them, what more could you possibly want? You really can't get any better than that just by buying a few extra staplers or extra decorative equipment for your space. So a good sign that you have enough is if you're able to get to that level of flow and be in that space and produce what you need to produce. If you can have a few people over without significant rearrangements, you have enough stuff. You don't necessarily need to be able to host 20 people unless that's the size of family and friends that you have coming over on a regular basis. So, like we'll host game night over here sometimes. We'll have a few friends over. If we are bringing out snacks, then we bring out like a big bowl of popcorn or big bowl of chips or something. Everybody doesn't necessarily need to have their own plate, although we probably would have enough for the amount of people that we're having over. But the main things are like, does everybody have a space to sit? They don't necessarily need their own chair, but do you have a really comfortable floor that they can sit on with, a cushiony pillow? Do you have some kind of arrangements for having the people over that you would need to, have over in order to feel that sense of social community and everything? It's an important aspect of your home. If your bathroom feels like a mini spa, that's a good sign. That means that you have what you need in there in order to achieve the desired result of feeling relaxed and taken care of. Number 17, if you're not constantly trying to think of what to declutter next. One sign that you might have too much is if it's constantly nagging at you and you're thinking, okay, well, next I need to declutter the bedroom because, wow, that's getting out of control. And then we'll get on to the, like if you constantly are having this whole nagging sensation of, oh, what do I need to declutter next? Then that's probably a sign that you have too much stuff. But if you aren't finding that sensation, then you probably have a good balance and maybe even have enough stuff in your space. Number 18, if you don't need to eat out or drink out in order to fulfill your needs. If you're having to eat out for every meal because you don't have the tools to make what you need to make and you don't have the food to eat what you need to eat, then you don't have enough, right? You should have what you need to sustain you inside of your space. Now, some people choose to eat out and they choose not to cook, and obviously that's a choice. Number 19, if you have a hobby or some kind of leisure activity that you can engage in. Number 20, if your living spaces are adaptable for multiple uses, that's a good sign that you have enough because you're planning and you're using versatile multi-purpose things in lieu of having excess. And it helps you to reach that level of enoughness easier and more quickly and with less stuff. Number 21, if you have a cozy space to relax. And obviously, this is just the perfect time for me to mention our sponsor today, Cozy Earth. I use their silk-filled pillows. I also use their award-winning viscose bamboo sheets and their silk-filled comforter. All of the loungewear that I've gotten from Cozy Earth has lasted, and I've put it to the test and washed it over and over. That's why I keep going back to them for their loungewear. And, there are tons of things that you can buy at the store really cheap that, oh, that feels like super soft and fuzzy. And then you wash it 3 times and it's no longer fuzzy. It's just nice to have things that are going to have longevity. You can also get 35% off of everything at their store using my code Danielle and my link down in the description. Number 22, if you have comfortable shoes without holes. This stands out in my mind because currently Matt does have holes in his shoes. We both work at home, so it kind of just falls to the wayside, but it's definitely something we will be getting because it is something that we need. If you have comfortable underwear without holes. Number 24, if your space feels secure and safe. That's so important. It doesn't mean that you need to have like a world-class security system unless that's what it takes for your space to feel secure and safe to you. But if you have locks on your doors, if you have, whatever it is for your area and for your comfort level, then that means that you're reaching your area or your level of enough. Number 25, if your lighting is adequate and brings the right ambiance or vibes to your space, then you have enough. And lighting is just really incredibly important. If you were blessed with giant windows and tons of natural light, then that's great. And if you weren't, then it's important that you make sure that the lighting that you're bringing in is going to give you the same levels of energy and productivity, like that you can see what you're looking for and that your eyes aren't strained, putting you in like headache situations every single day of the week. If your pet's needs are met and they have like a good go-to toy that they run to whenever they get excited, then they have enough. Your pet doesn't need to have like giant laundry hampers full of toys in order to feel happy and express that happiness through playing with a toy. If they've got their water bowl, their food bowl, a leash to be able to safely go outside, pet bags. Number 27, if your home has good air quality and ventilation, again, like windows that can open or, one of the air purifiers, if that's something that you need. And if you don't need it, if you already have the good quality air and you're not having allergy problems, then maybe you already have enough and that's not something you even need to invest in. Number 28, if your home reflects your personal style. Number 29, if you have a system for waste management and recycling. That's important. And in my case, we have an extra waste management system because we have Chloe with the diapers. Number 30, if you have a functional space for laundry, whether that is hampers that you can take over to a coin laundromat if you don't have a washer and dryer yourself, or an effective washer and dryer if you do own one that you're using, having something to be able to maintain the clothes that you own. Number 31, if your home has effective storage for the things that you use and need. Number 32, if you have enough food to meet your family's nutritional needs. Doesn't mean that you need to have every bag of chips or every sweet treat that's out there, but if you have the foods to meet their nutritional needs. And then number 33, if you have the appropriate tools to meet your family's nutritional needs. And off the top of my head, we recently had to switch from bottles to sippy cups for Chloe. That is something that we needed to purchase because for her developmental level, this is what she needs to be able to nourish herself. Well, we all have things like that we need in order to be able to appropriately nourish ourselves. Number 34, if you have an area or a strategy for daily physical movement, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have a whole zone that's physically, like exercise equipment ready inside of your home, or even a giant space in the middle of the floor for yoga, which is what I choose to do. Not everybody has that space or needs it, but as long as you live in an area where you can go for a walk when you need to, or you're close enough to a gym to where you can go out and physically move, some kind of a strategy or a system for physical movement. Number 35, you have the technology necessary to be able to function in society. Socially, scholastically, and professionally, there are just some things that, depending on what walk of life you're in and, what your profession and your social crew, is a part of, there are some things that we need in order to feel like we have enough inside of our home space to maintain those aspects of our lives. Number 36, you have a method for clean or filtered water. Maybe you live in a space like we do here in Oregon where water is just naturally clean, or maybe you live somewhere where you need to have the water filter of some sort. As long as you have the ability to get to that clean water and you have whatever filter necessary that you need for the space that you're living in, then that's another good sign. Number 37, you're able to keep warm or cool. And you have the tools necessary to do that, whether that is a throw blanket, a comforter on your bed, a space heater, or an air conditioning or fan. Number 38, if you can easily see what's in your drawer when you open it. Number 39, if your skin is adequately cared for, meaning it's hydrated when it feels dry, you've got whatever acne treatments or sore treatments that you need whenever it's in those states. A lot of times we go overboard and you might end up with like 10 different kinds of lotions and 3 different kinds of serums, and that's getting into excess. But if you have the things that you need in order to adequately tend for and take care of your skin, then that's a good sign. Number 40, if your hygiene needs are met, then you probably have enough when it comes to the shampoo, conditioner, soaps, hand sanitizer, all of those things. As long as your hygiene needs are met and you're able to be sanitary and whatever your needs are, then that's a good sign that you have enough. Number 41, if you have those things that you will occasionally need, like pens and tape. Number 42, if you have ways or methods of tending to physical pain, whether that is, if you have chronic neck pain, maybe you do need the extra like little massager thing for your neck. If that helps to reduce your pain, you may not need 10 different kinds of neck massagers, but maybe you do need the one, and that helps to bring the balance of enough into your space because it's helping to solve a literal pain point. But maybe you don't need something like that. Maybe you just need the ergonomic chair where you can sit and work for extended periods of time without your lower back hurting or without your legs hurting. Or maybe you just need to have some kind of home remedies that just make you feel good and feel well. Number 43, if you have some kind of system or solution for cleaning things, whether that is a literal all-purpose solution, or maybe you don't have a dishwasher, but you do have a dish drying rack. So you're able to adequately wash and clean the things that need to be washed and cleaned in one way or another. Number 44, if your home is equipped for any emergencies that are relevant to your area, including something like emergency power outages. If you live in the frigid winter and there's a risk of your electricity going out, then obviously you need to make sure that you have some kind of method of managing whatever happens when that power outage comes. And the same thing for if you live in Arizona in the middle of summer and you're worried about a power outage. Having those backup emergency things, it's almost like another level of security to make sure that you have what you need for your space. Number 45, if your home facilitates easy communication, meaning maybe you don't live in a tri-level where you have to scream down 3 flights of stairs in order to communicate with the next person. That's why I love having these Echo Dots in the room, because we can drop in on any room of the house on our tri-level and it's just easy, seamless communication. But there are tons of ways you can do that as long as you have some kind of effective method of communicating with people, whether inside the house or outside the house, then that's a good sign. If you have a system for managing your digital life, now that is becoming increasingly and more important, and it's only going to continue to become more and more important. And just another shout out that today is the last day to get that 50% off of my friend Kat's digital clutter course. It's really an awesome course. You can use my code Danielle and the link down in the description if that's something that you're interested in. Number 47, if you have a space or a method for being able to learn new things, whether that's your office space or your hobbies and craft space or a space at the dining table where you can read the news and read a book of something informative every day, being able to facilitate learning and growth is incredibly important inside of our spaces. But if you have that covered, then that's another good sign that you have enough. Number 48, if your home includes things that help to connect you to nature. That could mean bringing in plants. It could mean, again, having giant windows that you can open the blinds to really experience seeing the outdoor nature that's going on right outside your window. Number 49, if you have a space in your home for quiet reflection or meditation, or just to be able to get out of your head and get back to neutral ground, incredibly important. If you have that, then kudos to you, because your space is probably a more balanced than most. And number 50, if your home has a designated space or system for memories, sentimental items. I would say if everything's sentimental, then nothing's sentimental. You can't have everything just piling up boxes of quote sentimental stuff. But for those things that really are sentimental and that you do have space for, it's important to have some kind of a system or designated method of tending to those things. So for me, that tends to be a memory box. I have a giant memory box that Matt and I both share. Each of my older daughters has a big memory box that they can add collections to over the years. And so it just really adds a little more personalization to your space without overly cluttering your space. And if you have that covered, then that's a good sign that you have enough. Hopefully this idea of 50 things either makes you feel really good because you realize that you are right in the sweet spot, or maybe even gives you ideas of holes that you have in your space that you need to fill in order to reach that level of enoughness. Or maybe it's giving you a little light bulb of, wow, I don't need to keep buying more things because I already do have enough. So whatever you're getting from this video, I hope that you're having some solid takeaways. If you like it, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to enter yourself into the giveaway down below for your chance to win over $200 worth of free stuff. And I will chat with you next week.